One line.
Minor.
That's okay.
Okay, by the way, if you actually.
I got to fess up to my parents before they got that.
Welcome to the July 18th, 2022 zoning board of appeals meeting. We've got 2, 4, 6 items on the agenda. At, do we have an issue with point and a half? We've got, all right, we've got enough, even if you do recuse. And there's no other issues with, okay, that's right, because
Only for,
Kelly's not here.
right.
She would have had an issue with,
Nope, there's plenty of room there.
really?
Yep.
Is it just down the street?
Yeah, but it's a little deceiving for the church property,
Okay,
so it's like almost 700 feet.
okay, all right. We have a full board for all the items. 2322, Mary Karen, come on up. Good evening.
Good evening.
What are you looking at doing here?
We're looking at putting 20 sheds on. Looking at it on the left side. Because all of Shed's tools and everything are in my garage. And there is in my garage, and I want my car in. So we want to do that so he can set up and put all his tools and everything inside.
Okay.
And there's no backyard because that's what we were told. We have a backyard that is big enough to get a riding lawnmower down. Is it?
That's the 6 feet to your deck. But the house itself is 17 from the back lot. Is that what we're reading?
No,
There's a deck on the back.
that's 17 feet from the corner of the house to the stairs on the deck.
That way.
Here and here.
Okay,
And you got 5 feet here, and then it goes just like this.
okay,
So
So
we wanted to put the shed over here with the garage door facing the road.
okay, so you're far enough away from the lot line, you just don't have the contour. You
There's
say it drops
22
down.
22 feet between me and the house on the other side. So it's only gonna be 12 feet, so there's plenty of,
We have plenty of distance
from there
from
to my
there
house. It's
to
22
here.
feet.
Okay, but how far is that back corner of the house from the lot line? You're saying it's from an embankment?
This
Yeah,
from the lot line back here.
yes,
6 feet?
It's right around 20 feet,
okay,
but 6 to 8 feet of it's unusable because there's a row of trees that go back here. And
okay,
right out behind the trees, the lot shoots down to another fence.
okay. All right,
And we wanted to match the house. So it'll be exactly like the house and everything. And the garage doors, hopefully we can pick up the same color to match the house.
Anybody have any comments, questions? The accessory structure is allowed, but can't be in a side yard setback, it's supposed to be in the backyard.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, coverage is not an issue, and you own the whole lot, the whole duplex,
Yes, I own the whole complex. There's 2 lots. My
Okay.
house is on 2 lots.
okay, but you own them both, so
Yes,
we consider them kind of as one, correct?
Yeah, the county has them, has as a duplex.
Okay.
So are you taxed as one or taxed as two?
right, taxes one.
Yeah, so it's just.
Then it's 2 lots into one.
Yep.
Okay,
The one that right in the middle, it didn't work that way. And it won't be past the house. It won't extend to the end of the garage, it'll be back.
Okay.
Where there's houses. Within the curvature cycle. It'll be back, start there and go back.
Sir. That owner knows.
are you gonna pave to it?
We're gonna buy.
Pave,
I haven't decided. Is that a good idea?
I don't know. My question is, can you?
Well, we do
There
have that
is,
walkway,
there is
a driveway.
that little driveway down there at the road that if she wanted to, she could either stone it or pave it.
But it wasn't, I didn't give that any thought.
But that would be allowed, Kyle,
It would be allowed, yeah. It wouldn't be allowed to be stone, but it could be paved,
okay,
but, yeah. We'd have to run the numbers for open space.
Open space.
But I don't think there's an issue.
okay. Well, especially if it's one lot.
Yep.
You're gonna have an issue. Okay, any questions?
Do you had this built? Did you guys build this property? And when did you
10
build
years
it?
ago. Well, 10 years this month. And there was no houses on the other side and nothing on that
Thought she
side.
was in a nice wooded area.
Sorry. Fool me. Because the other side is completely full now. I think there's one lot down the street a little bit. No, there's nothing. It's 10 years old this year, this month.
All right. And I'll open up for public comment. Anyone in the audience that wants to make a comment on this? Okay, if not, I'll close the public comment. And I will entertain the environmental assessment form to the inspector's office building permit should be filled in. Issues unless anyone else did. Entertain a motion.
Motion that the board chair review the short environmental assessment form and fill out numbers 1 through 11 and mark no or small impacts may occur and sign.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. For the motion, I guess all I would say is that. I'm sure it doesn't. Other than that, so much issues here, but if somebody has other feelings, please.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal number 2322. Their Class B area variance request to install an accessory structure in the side yard that will not front yard setback.
Should modify that. Because the house may not be on the front yard setback.
Okay, it will not surpass
The front edge of the house?
Yeah.
sure.
I missed what you just said, I'm sorry.
Well, so basically, she said front yard setback, if the
Versus
house
the
is
house.
behind
Hmm.
this setback, they could move it up
I understand.
and versus this way.
There's a little technicality, the garages are at the front yard setback, where the house starts, it's 20 feet back, 20.
Yes,
So it's, you just want to make sure you,
so let's
Okay.
word it exactly how we want it.
I would like to make a motion to approve appeal number 2322 to approve a Class B area variance request to install an accessory structure in the side yard no closer to the road than the house. Is that okay?
From the garage.
No, not the garage.
Not- Second.
Second.
No, this is- Okay, you have 5 yes votes, you're good to go.
All right,
So the building inspector, permits.
so what do I have to do now?
Gentleman
have you
there.
applied for a building permit yet?
Did I get what?
Have you come to see Lisa for a building permit yet?
We did the zoning, but we can do a bill.
Right, you told me it was $50. Yep,
We can do that.
do I pay you?
That's
We gotta come back tomorrow and see her downstairs to get the permit.
Okay, gotcha.
Congratulations. Enjoy your new tool shed.
Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
You bumped it, fill these out bright lights.
Okay, Matt Rivers, come on up. You prefer Matthew or Matt? Matt. Okay, thank you. Put it off here. So. All right. Let's get a description of what you're looking at doing here.
In the front of the house, we have a concrete block, which is the front stoop of the front porch. We're looking to replace it and extend it another 6 feet to the east to about those windows. Just to make it a little bit bigger.
You're not going to cover it or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And the depth of that porch is for to read here.
It's 7.5 feet.
Okay, so it's 7 by 7.5 feet now,
Exists, yep,
and then you're coming over another house door.
6 feet.
6 feet east. Just from the 18 porches behind the front of the garage.
1 foot 9
1
inches.
foot 9 inches, so what's that? 21.
20. Okay. And your overall lengths, do they include the steps or no?
No,
And James wants us to ignore the steps, right?
Well, we did find something in the code that makes us believe that steps coming off of an allowed projection aren't to be calculated. It's little, the next section, so there's a chance that
Highly debatable.
there's a chance we were reading it wrong all along from, so.
So,
Nice.
so your case is getting better and better, James?
Yes,
Building team.
it takes a lot for me to admit I was wrong, so.
Especially the coworkers, right?
Would you be keeping the steps in the existing location?
no, it'd be coming toward the road. If possible. I mean, if we have to, we can, it's no big deal, but we were planning on putting them in the front of the porch, so they're facing the road. Makes it a little bit easier to move stuff in and out.
When you go walk down, so it's backing out of the garage.
That too. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Feelings, concerns?
I'm sorry, 7, what are the acceptable dimensions you can have? Or is it already past?
It's 6 by 8 is the
6 by 8.
and right now, he's got 5 3/4 by 6.
So
That's an allowable projection into the front yard setback, so the remainder, the 6 foot, the next 6 foot by 5 3/4 is what he's applying for a variance for. So he's went 12 and then 5 3/4.
So right now, the only thing in the setback are the steps. Truly, right? And there are a landing when you step out and then you get to the edge of the house and you step down.
Yes.
So essentially, it's all part of the step thing right now.
So the front itself is the issue, it's just the steps.
Right now, he's making it a porch. So you're gonna take that landing and come out at that landing height.
Yeah, come out to the front of that,
That one.
the steps, come out to the front
Front
of
of steps. Right.
But then over another 6 feet. So all of that, and then your steps would be beyond that.
Yes.
So the variance would be. So for 7.5, you're 1.9. Who does the math here? Justin,
I didn't hear you.
what's the size of the variance here? Because he's got 1.9 behind the
It's-
setback.
Yeah, it's 5 3/4 by 4 is what is not allowed by the exception, not counting the stairs. Because it's.
Okay, so the other part is already allowed.
Yeah, and there's only a small portion that isn't. You understand?
What were those numbers again? Something like 4.
5 3/4.
5 3/4, but.
I just can't see the numbers very well, so I'm honestly having a hard time understanding the drawing.
Well, we're 7.5 feet out. 1 3/4 is allowed.
1 3/4 is allowed?
Well, he's coming out 7.5 feet from the face of the house.
Yep.
But 1 3/4 of 1.9 is allowed. Because that's even with the property, the
For the house.
0.5 foot
I
setback.
see. So he's going out 5 1/4 feet then.
5
Quarters at 5 1/4.
And it's allowed to be 5 by 8.
6 by 8.
So that part of it's fine. then.
Eight wide, 60 or six, 8 wide, 60.
60, 8 wide.
Yeah.
Toward the house. So he's looking for a 6 by 12 or
That's it, so he's,
actually
Four.
5 1/4 by 12.
so he's 4 feet off the variance, just, okay,
Right.
no, I understand.
Correct.
Got it, my bad, I'm here.
All right, well, let me first open up to, unless somebody has any other comments. Open up to the public, anyone in the public wants to comment on this? No? All right, I'll close that public portion. Let's do the seeker. You're printing or you're draftsman?
No. Just write some more.
We used to make this right when we were drawing drawings back in the day. All right, I'll entertain a motion with seeker.
I make a motion that the board chair review the short environmental assessment form and feel check no or small impact may occur on questions 1 through 11 and sign.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll entertain a motion in regards to the appeal.
So this is, excuse me.
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve appeal number 2323 for Class B variance.
Just as listed.
Yeah. No,
Shall we specify the exact variance?
it's a 4-foot variance on the, right, well, I would say to not be wider than 12 feet long.
Okay.
And
What's the total depth? It was,
Specify both dimensions.
yeah, so I was about to look there. Remember it's under 3/4 of a,
it's 5 1/4 more than he has right now.
what was the depth of the porch again? Because it was less than 5 feet.
Depth is 7.5.
Right, but past the house, it's not.
5 1/4.
All right, so 5 1/4 by past the house, right?
3/4, I think, right?
No, it was a quarter.
1/4.
Back to it. All right, so to approve, I'll start that over. We're gonna get at this. So I'd like to make a motion to approve appeal number 2323 for Class B variance. The porch should not extend 5 1/4 feet past the front of the house and not be wider than 12 feet.
Second.
Our math is wrong.
It's 5 3/4.
It is.
It is 5 1/4? All right,
Yes,
then that's what I go.
because we're 7.5. Minus 1 3/4.
Oh, yeah. So you're right. Is that what you're saying?
Of course I do. It's easy to admit when I was right.
So modify your dimension. That's 5 3/4. Great, you have 5 yes votes. Okay, good show. Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
But come see you tomorrow as well. Thank you.
Good luck, you.
Thank you. Okay, Joel and Karen Parker. 56 Lynn Street. Good evening. So what are you looking at doing or what have you done?
Replace the porches. So there's a front and side porch, and when we replaced it, we put a cover on the side, and that's what we found out, that kicked in the new construction variance rule.
Okay, you did not have a cover before.
It did not.
Did we determine, was that done after? When did the cover go on? Before you applied?
Yeah.
Back off.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, I thought we were building on the same footprint, so since it's a porch on. Yeah, we got caught, somebody told us that we chatted with it, and then frantically, it's been. We're running around after the fact, trying to get everything squared away.
Okay. Sure. So you were wrong, Kyle, it wasn't.
Yep, I was wrong again. Twice on that.
I'll catch up.
We're tallying tonight. But we just we're talking about downstairs. And I said, no, there's a cover on the roof. I don't think it was there, but evidently it was, so. And the issue is just setback or coverage.
It's combined side yard setback,
Okay. Gotcha.
because the uncovered porch would have been a allowed projection.
Allowed projection.
Correct.
All right, but coverage is not an issue there. So the coverage. Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments? The porch you put back in was the same size as what came out. So,
Yes, exactly, looking on top of the.
okay.
Just cover the side one.
Any questions, comments? No, to the public, anybody in the public have any questions, comments? Okay, I'll close the public hearing portion of it. Let's do the seeker. It's number 8, the transportation services after a year. Yeah. See Plattsburgh. I'll entertain a motion on the seeker. The seeker, lady.
I make a motion that the board chair review the short environmental assessment form and check no or small impact may occur on questions 1 through 11 inside.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion on the appeal itself.
I'll make a motion that for appeal number 2324, the board approve Class B variance request to rebuild the side porch and add cover in the pre-existing footprint into the combined yard setback.
Can we had it not get imposed. Because once a roof goes on legally, they can close it.
And we'd like to amend the fact and note that the structure could not be enclosed in the future.
So a second.
Yeah, no. Okay, so yes, vote is to approve. Right, you got 5 yes votes. Yeah.
Good night, thank you.
Good night.
Okay, next up, Megan Riley.
You care if he talks, I don't.
No, that's fine. He's one of the ones that was on the pool yesterday after about 4:30. I only saw you.
There we go.
There were other people there, but I just saw. That's why we're relaxing, laying back. Can't understand why you want a fence.
You came by, you know why.
It's from, weird driving by where the slow is working. So the people walk down the street. Let's see what the neighborhood's about. So. Okay. You have a tough lot. So what are you looking at doing? The pool is up, obviously.
And that pool is 18 feet from the road, but I don't know where our property line is.
The city did some measuring. What did you come up with for a dimension?
It looks like the edge of the pool is about 6 feet from Hartwell, the Hartwell property line.
Okay,
But I would be 12 feet of city property, and we have.
Yeah, about that. Correct.
okay. But we're fine from the waterhouse lot.
Well, as far as distance goes, but it's also,
Front yard.
yeah, or not rear yard, I should say,
What's that?
not rear yard.
Not rear yard. Okay. All right, so what we have here is 2 variances. One is for the pool itself, in that you are not in the rear yard, which is what it is, as well as consider a side yard far enough from the side yard setback. Although if we just, we can write it however we want.
June,
Early June.
we didn't know, we just called and thought that we had it away enough. Oh, and that, I didn't say it was a corner lot either, so we just did the dimensions that we were told. But we did pay for the pool permit.
Shutter vest.
Lake Champlain.
Yeah.
Don't ask them. I'm a little upset though, like, shouldn't they have known, maybe, I don't know.
I do think that it was indicated because it is a a weird corner lot, to go to the city first, because I did go through kind of the conversations, so.
She's with Lake Champlain. for this.
Not gonna vote.
Also reduce.
Is that pool permit?
Uh,
Pool permit, is that what they said?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's-
because if you got a pool permit, that should have come out from the city right from the get-go.
Okay.
But that was an issue for a pool permit.
So just to be clear, the city would have approved the permit and inspected it afterwards?
No, they would have said you have to get a variance before you get your permit,
Oh, I see.
assuming they didn't do their job.
So this one-way street is the issue, right? Yeah. Or is it?
Well, it said it's not in the backyard, the pool has to be in the backyard.
Yes.
And they don't, they essentially don't have a backyard, you got 3 front yards.
Yeah.
From that house. And I don't think the backyard's big enough for a pool.
That's the only place it's big enough for.
It's the only reason why I bought the house. Right?
So. St. John.
And where's the fence gonna go on the property exactly? I didn't really understand on the drawing.
The fence would start about 2 feet from the pool. And it would start at the pine tree, and just run 35 feet down Hartwell, 32 and a half feet down Waterhouse, and then 12 feet to the bushes.
So it's L shaped or U shaped?
Kind of like U shaped.
So actually, we have a problem with
I don't know.
the 30-foot triangle.
Yeah.
Kyle,
I don't think there was a problem with triangle, right? We looked at that. He's coming 35 feet and you're. I don't know.
Yes.
I thought we looked at that, I'm not percent sure.
so you're saying the pool is 11 feet from the property line on Hartwell? 6 feet.
6 feet from the property line.
6 feet. And you're putting the fence 2 feet closer to Hartwell. So the fence is gonna be 4 feet from his property line. And he's coming out to 17 and a half feet. You're in your 30-foot triangle.
Are you doing like a total privacy fence?
That's what we're looking for, yeah.
And that is a corner where the land, it's not the one way the other direction.
No, I think when we did the 30 foot, we checked it. I know we did a triangle, but I think we were just looking at the pool.
The issue is the corner there, the fence has to be 30 feet back in both directions. And a diagonal line drawn between the two of them.
So it's 30.
Yeah, so,
Is there, okay, so the other thing.
and that's for a line of sight for cars at that intersection.
Yeah.
And if it were one way in the other direction, it's a lot easier to say, yes, issue, because you're stopping there, really, like you've got the stop sign there.
We would be well before the stop sign, but I understand there's a vision issue. Okay. So.
Well, what it would mean is we may require you to put a diagonal corner,
Like this.
Yeah.
To-
just
Kind of like
to
this.
get it, to get that triangle for you to fence.
Okay, instead of just coming straight out.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
it may cost a little more. You know, it may cost a little bit more, but,
It's,
and you'll lose a little bit of footage, but it's not gonna impinge on the pool.
yeah, no, That, I understand what you're saying, because you just,
You
you try to go.
understand.
Yeah.
It's a 30, 30.
People do it.
And
And how far does that?
I mean, I'm not-
More than 30.
just,
You don't have that.
30,
I mean, it's-
you just from your property line, come back 30 feet both directions along the property line.
Where's the triangle star right?
Is what they're required as.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Am I correct?
I
It's
see, so it'd be here.
30-foot legs. And then the hypotenuse just between the 2 points. On the triangle.
Yes,
Like that.
anything in that road triangle.
Is that more accurate?
Do we have it?
It's 30 feet. right?
Well, yeah.
When you did the measurement of the pool was within it or no?
Property
The measurement of the triangle for the pool
here,
was,
and then you get 32 feet, so
okay,
it may end up being something like this right here. That's gonna be the. Maybe even less because. 30 feet from here.
30 from the property line, not
There,
from the
there is
street.
another thing I can go, because I have a little bit of footage from this side, I can actually go, this also cut out the corner, back to the pine tree. So then you come up short of it, then come up short of it, and then come up short.
So basically, there's just a crosshatch area that they can't.
Yeah.
Lot fencing.
No, I know that, I just didn't know how far.
Or 17 and a half feet.
yeah, essentially.
Is that a standard distance from the curb to property line?
That depends on the street,
Okay,
how wide the street is.
all right.
It's kind of said, it's a standard distance within each neighborhood from the center of the street
Okay,
to the right of the end of the right of way, correct?
all right.
And
In most part, most cases, yes.
And this falls that way?
There's a sidewalk on either side. It's kind of easy to find the right sidewalk.
The only thing that I really, I just want to be able to build a deck eventually in the future, on this side, and on that side. You know what I'm saying, so I don't care how close the fence is to the pool, as long as I got some room to move in between this.
yeah, I think the thing to do is to map out your lines and your lot lines. Do your 30 foot and then draw a string across there and you'll see exactly where you can be.
So like 30 foot, I think, yeah, you got a 30 foot.
Yeah. I mean, unless somebody here wants to give them a variance for the 30-foot triangle, but. That is a one-way towards us, it's a two-way for us. Yes, Waterhouse is two-way, it's one-way, and that's actually, that's Hartwell, so that gets most of the traffic that comes into that neighborhood. Right. More than, it's the next one over.
Take out the one right the other way,
Yeah,
and the one up from that is, I can't remember, but that one comes
that's
a
the one
little
I
bit.
know, it's a real small street, there really too much comes there. So. So everyone coming out to, for the most part, Waterhouse, goes there. Including dump trucks. For the, yeah. Okay, then. You open up to the public, you wait the public to say anything about this? No? All right. Close the meeting portion. Anybody have any other comments, questions?
I'm sorry, do we have to approve the pool also, or are we voting that as
Yes,
well?
we have to approve the location of the pool and not in the rear yard And we have to approve or reject in either case, the fence, 6-foot fence. 6 foot's allowed in the backyard, but not in the side
Front
yard.
yard setback.
Oh, they're all front yard setbacks.
So it's only the front yard setback.
We won't even, oh. Does he ever get into the backyard? When you have the side yard?
It looks like it gets out of the front yard setback by 4.5, by 5 feet. Coming back to the pool, looks like there's only 5 feet that's not in the front yard setback.
We'll just approve the whole fence if we're gonna do it.
So
All right, then, any other questions, comments? No? Okay, let's do the seeker. B and C should be zone. Link to building inspector, building permit, pool permit. I'll entertain a motion on the seeker.
Motion that the board approve the short environmental assessment form for appeal 2325, stating that there's little or no environmental impact. Noting that under number 8, B and C should be marked no. And oh, and that the board chair check no or small impact will occur for numbers 1 through 11. And sign.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now I will entertain a motion. What do you want, Pat? Two separate, one big one?
doesn't matter to me.
One big one's fine.
I will attempt to make a motion to approve appeal number 2325. Let me just say the pool variance.
Actually, we do.
Motion to approve 2325, Class B area variance request to install a pool into the front yard setback and install a 6-foot-high privacy fence into the front yard setback of the corner lot. However, including a 30-foot triangle.
With the fence not encroaching on the 30-foot corner triangle.
With the fence not encroaching on a 30-foot.
30 by 30 by.
30 by 30.
Or the 2 square legs of the triangle.
Make it easier to say.
All right, what is it called?
It's just that we call it 30-foot triangle. I'm not sure how to.
All right, well, I said that.
Okay, 30-foot triangle.
The corner of
Or,
Hartwell and Waterhouse.
yes. Yes, so there's the pool. And the. Okay, we've got 5 yes votes.
Thank you very
We're
much.
good, okay? This will be the building inspector's office. So,
Stop on the
Thank
questions from the
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
All right. Joan Jansen. Okay. Tell us what you're looking to do or what you've started.
I know, my apologies, I didn't realize that I needed to speak to you before this started, because all I wanted to do was put a roof on the back side of the garage, which, right there, just to have a space that I could get out of the rain to do potting and that kind of thing. In the wintertime, probably store my pots that I have up against the foundation. But the idea is just simply a roof on that structure to have, because I use potted plants on the back porch, and I just thought that would be a nice feature and come in handy. And so I was just gonna put a little metal roof on that, and away we go. That's
So fast.
that was, yeah, I know that now, I know that now. But that was, yeah, that was my idea, is just to have a nice little structure outside to be able to use. And as I mentioned, because I thought, okay, gravel on the ground, and I had some leftover tile from inside the house that I thought I could put on top of the gravel for, you know, having a surface to stand on. And no sides, you know, it's out of doors. I wasn't making new indoor space, so that's why I didn't think I needed to in the past few minutes.
Well, the issue is coverage,
Yes,
and if it were 2 feet or less, it wouldn't have been an issue because it would have been considered an eave. Am I correct? 2 foot is allowed?
Not for eaves, I don't know if that would be considered an eve.
2 foot eve? Okay.
It's stretched,
If it had been up by the window, it would have been considered an eve.
maybe.
it's really hard to get my backside in 2 feet, you know, my back close. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree, but because you are larger than eve, it's considered coverage of the lot. And you're already over coverage even before you start, because you have the previous appeal.
I did.
When you added that on, you were over coverage.
Yeah.
From back in. Say,
2016, I think.
This is 2017 on the.
17, okay.
all right, and I'm not sure, there was a letter from a neighbor of yours in regards to that. Did they show that to you?
No,
In response to a notice of a variance requested, 29 Cody Ave, we read the notice and have the following concerns. I'll read it. Elevation of property 29 Cody Ave that's impacted our property because of runoff. The owner did not install any drainage or dry well to deter from problems happening. B, the structure is oversized for the property. C, a variance has already been granted. D, the work on the structure is incomplete. There are still metal jacks under a roof line instead of a post. This deters from our property value. Therefore, in conclusion, we are using our right to say no to the request for another variance on property from the equivalent at Plattsburgh, New York. Broderick, Scott Broderick.
Okay, can I address some of these things?
Sure.
Okay. The elevation of the property, if it were the back person in the back, they would have had a comment, but it is not, or I would disagree with the fact that they're having a runoff problem. We all have and continue to have water in the backyard in the spring. That's just, and my little joke about that is that I pay very high taxes in the city of Plattsburgh because I have waterfront property. And, you know, I'd like to get some ducks and stick them out there in the spring, but at any rate, so that is not new, and I would probably say I doubt that that is any different than it has been in the past. As far as the work is incomplete, that is true. What I had planned to do is a permeable pavement driveway. And I have contacted Fuller about that. As the pandemic has decreased, I tried to get on their work schedule to have things done, because what I'd like to do is to have concrete, a foot of concrete down to hold the grid in place that will get the soil in it, and then the green is planted on that. That should help address some of the water issues that are happening once that is installed. And because I had worked, Fuller was the one who poured my foundation, and I was really happy with them. I didn't want to change horses in the middle of the stream and go to somebody else. I thought I would like these guys to do it. So when I can get in and get on their schedule, which is going to be next year, that's what I would like to have done. I need, because that is going to be happening, the concrete to go up to the library side door, out the side door, which is on the grade entrance, hasn't been poured yet. And until it's poured, it doesn't make sense to me to put in the permanent post, because I need the spot for the post to go. The, I'm sorry, what do you call it? Down on the ground. Yeah, it needs to be resting on something, not just the ground. I can't just leave, and I don't want to put the post on just the ground at this point and take it down and have the concrete put in and then put it back up again. So yes, that has been there, and that's the reason why it has been there. So I will also mention that of all my neighbors, probably the south side, which is Scott and Lorraine Broderick, are the least affected of anybody. If you take a look at the photos that I included, and as a matter of fact, if you stay on this one, their brown fence right there is, further away I get the mark. Yep, that's their brown fence. And so in terms of what they can see of my property, it's pretty limited, and they have to walk down. They stopped putting the fence in to their property line, and they have to walk down to a hole in the fence to take a look. Yeah, those are my north neighbors. That's Crystal Rose, but I apologize, it's difficult to see with this, but thank you. This fence stops right there, and there's the back end of this property. And he has to come down to the fence to look over the chain link fence that's right there to see what's happening back here. Otherwise, he really doesn't see it. From where he is. Yeah, and
So
you're
your drainage doesn't go towards him, it's going off the back.
correct,
Okay.
correct. But there's been little change in off towards his direction. It's been more off the back.
That being said, the more area that's covered, the less area there is to saturate. In general, it's still gonna
Yeah,
drain.
that's,
Yeah, the rain may fall off the roof that direction, but because of the coverage of the whole property, right, there's less ground to be saturated,
Right.
except for your neighbors.
Right, and I've begun installing rain barrels. My first barrel, unfortunately, I don't know whether it stuck off the roof or whatever, came into it because it doesn't have a screen. It connects right into the downspout, and that got plugged. I went to water the plants with that water, and I'm gonna have to empty it out and try and unplug it and figure out a system of screens so that I can use it for watering plants. But yeah, I do want to capture as much of the rainwater off of the roof that I possibly can. Just for plants and whatnot, and which that's Broderick's property. And they are, comparatively speaking, they are virtually not impacted by this whatsoever.
when you did your addition, did you change the elevation of your lot at all?
No, I
What
had
happens
to.
the dirt that you
I
dug
had
out?
to bring dirt in to make level the, to go into the library area. So yeah, that had to come up a little bit, yes.
So that would cause more runoff away from your property. Okay, anybody have any questions, comments? Feelings?
Yes.
This is my answer. All right, we're being open up to the public. Anybody, got any comments? No? All right, I'll close the public comment period. Now, we're going from a 25.6,
25.2 to 26,
25.2 to 26.
just over 60 square feet.
And 25 is the allowed.
Yes.
Okay.
What was the additional part?
That whole, that back area, the library. You show the back of the, yes. Yes.
Yes, it's on the back side of the garage, which is actually the side of the garage because the garage doors go south towards.
Overhead's not possible.
That's 29 Cogan previous to the addition being put on. And this was a shed that I had for lawnmower and that kind of stuff. I understood when the people who wanted to get their tools out of their garage. I thought to myself, I get that, because the lawnmower and the tools were in that garage. But the library comes off the end here, and then the garage and loft make kind of an L shape, I guess you could say. And so the roof portion is pointing that direction, which is actually the side of the garage, not the back of the garage. If you think about the back of the garage being towards the Rose.
Nice, it's not his own driveway there.
Yeah.
That would be the garage.
Oh,
The street.
You're on the east side of there, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So, yeah, so the back side is east, and down the street is the west side.
And your yard floods?
Yeah, but I've got a pine tree. There's a big pole, power pole in the back corner. And that back corner is a pine tree. And yeah, in that back area, right down there, it floods kind of just in the corner. And I don't know, a few days in the spring when it's really melting and running, we get a pocket of water back there.
What's that trend that was low? Like it's, okay. Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain. Broken record. Building permit.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the short environmental assessment form for appeal 2326, stating there's little or no environmental impact, and that the board chair said no or small impact may occur for questions 1 through 11 and sign.
All in favor? Okay. Rear coverage.
Rear yard setback, too.
What's that?
Rear yard setback as well.
Yeah, coverage, yeah, it's both.
Rear yard setback?
Yeah.
How close are we?
It's 25, with the addition, there's the previous variance allowed for 25 feet to the property line. And they're going 7 feet closer. The 30 is required.
So that's what they needed the variance for before, was the rear yard setback, correct?
Yeah, and it looks like a few square feet of coverage.
In the original variance.
Yes.
Now they're getting even more of a rear yard setback than they already.
Even though that's just a roof, like is that
It's
Not
atta-
less.
It's attached to the house.
because it's attached?
Question, if it weren't attached, would it still need to go through the whole process?
Only for coverage, not for the rear yard setback, because it's still over coverage. Any building with a roof goes with coverage. The rear yard setback would not be an issue because it's got a whole different set of rules, but since it's attached.
We're how far from, it's only 5 feet if it's in the rear yard setback.
No, 30 is required. The previous variance allowed for 25. and they're going 7 more to 18.
Say that then,
Yeah,
did you?
And
he's right on that one.
All right.
Okay, but the house is just a little over 30, 29 feet from the lot line.
You say it's 25.
I don't,
that's what the previous variance allowed for.
if you get out there with your tape measure and measure it, which is what I did in order to make my little drawing, I tried to do it to scale. And the back of the house is about 29 feet from the lot line. There's a, and I took it from between my house and La Rosa's lot. There's a pipe in the ground, and I think that's meant to be the marker in the back. And so that's what I took it from. And measured it.
So that brings up another issue. The question is, if she's saying she didn't go to the 25 foot, did she go to the 25.2% coverage?
That's a good question.
If that was all measured by size of the building, size of the lot, so it should still be fine.
It should still be going closer to the property line.
I agree,
Regardless.
but if she's at 29 feet, if she didn't build that as large as we approved, we aren't approving near as much.
Did you build it as per the plans that you submitted when you got the variance? The original variance? It was built to spec?
17.
I had to come back a second time because the first set of plans were deficient, I guess is the way to put that. And I'm assuming it got built to the second set of plans, but I'm not sure. I didn't get out the plans and check them against the actual what's on the ground.
So she's saying there's a 4-foot difference between.
That's what she's saying. That's from what she measured compared to the plan that were submitted.
Yeah, but the end of the garage, the east side of the garage, I think it's 29 feet from the lot line, not 25. So that's where that 4 feet is. And the
Should we just approve as it's legal here?
We can vote on it as it's labeled here if we want. The question is if we reject it, we do that. If what she is saying is true, it could make this variance much less.
That's what I mean, like, what if we vote on it based on the drawing, saying as if that is accurate, and then if it's not accurate?
Well, what we don't know is about the coverage now.
Gotcha.
Where that went. And that could have a direct effect on it too.
But if we deny it now as is, does she have to wait a
Well,
year to come back if she wanted to do a not attached?
No, that would be a substantial change. Agreed, Kyle,
That's what
if she
I'm at.
decided to do a detached and came back, that would be considered enough of a change for she would have to.
I consider that enough of
Okay.
a change.
I would too, but I want to make sure you're the decision.
Is it possible at this point to postpone until a measurement is made?
We can easily postpone on our behalf.
Okay.
Yes. For a meeting. It's not going anywhere. I know she wants her shed covered, but
Even if the 4-foot difference that she is stating exists is correct, she would still need both an area and a setback variance. That doesn't change.
She needed setback. I'm not entirely sure about coverage, because you take, if that building was built smaller, all that square footage would be gone. We're talking 67, only 65.5 square feet.
she's at,
If that 65.5 square feet's gone,
Oh,
she
yeah.
doesn't need coverage.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're only talking.
That's
2
not
foot. Variance.
Well, with the proposed, it'd be, if, even if we were short, you should be at 22 when 30 is required. The rear yard setback.
But we've already, we'd already given her 25. Correct.
That's what I wrote down, so I believe that's true.
Well, and we would have to approve it, I would say we would approve it as is. But part of the justification is that it had been previously approved at 25. And so we're only increasing the efficiency by X amount. We approved 25.
Yeah, but it would be 22, so there's still 3 feet.
Yeah, 3. Yes. I think we want to get this right. And I think we want to postpone on our behalf. And get more information
Okay,
and then we come back next month.
all right,
Basically, everything stays the way it is.
right,
Okay, until this, and we postpone on our behalf. And actually, we'll do a postponement for 2 meetings in case something happens and you can't come back next meeting.
can you put me on the agenda for next month? I
We-
would appreciate it.
Yeah, that's not a problem, but
Thank
if something happens and you have a conflict this way.
I don't, question, Jim is familiar with the property, do you want to come out and do the measuring? Is that
Okay.
how is this,
I can do that.
is this, okay? I'll get the other end of the tape where you just let me know when you're
Okay.
coming. Yeah, and I'll show you, you know, what I did and how I did it, so.
Okay.
um,
Can I get a motion to this effect?
Can I get a motion to postpone appeal number 2326 until we have an accurate measurement of the existing coverage and the backset in the rear yard?
Or
For 1 meeting, 1 month?
let's.
Give her 2 and you can take it at once.
Do it
It's for 2 months.
Just in case, otherwise then we have to address it next month.
Got it, okay,
If
all right.
something happens, and you
So-
can't come or whatever, you're good for 2
I'm good for 2 months, got it,
2 meetings.
all right.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
All right.
sorry, but who I did it with. Thank you. Okay. Elizabeth Fall. Thank you for your patience.
These guys got the memo that the last person at the meeting is supposed to bring the margaritas.
I know where to find it. Yeah.
Assuming you're still with it.
Yeah.
Just- Oh, okay,
Why do you think I made a comment?
okay. Sorry, I've only been for 4 months.
Right? Oh, me.
Thank I was of age when I did.
That's definitely on the record.
Have a good
No.
night, thank you.
Statute of limitations, you're gonna start to say. Okay.
There's the 4-foot chain link, but you can see, we would like to make it higher and just continue with the white fence.
Okay. That white fence was just replaced.
Yes, they replaced the wood fence that was there, that was falling down. We also yanked the edges that were kind of looking red.
Okay. All right. That's probably in the 30-foot triangle, but no one's turning it off would be good. Streets that needs to see.
Yep.
How high was the old wood fence? That was just, it was the same as what was right?
Take it all the way back. And then are you good?
We're not in between our neighbor's yard, so we're gonna keep the same chain link fence that's there currently, but we just wanna go down to the corner
Okay.
of the lot.
Just want the privacy off the street.
Yeah, we don't want to really know our neighbors, so we're not trying to like pull Wilson to know.
Good fences make great neighbors sometimes. And we pulled the previous appeals for that fence in the pool. It's just a- we're checking.
For our.
Just that there have been variances that allow them, that sort of thing.
You know, that chain link fence was into that huge hedge, which is
Yeah.
probably 12 feet wide, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it had to have overgrown ones.
How far is it going to be from the sidewalk?
10 feet, 2 inches.
So you're walking on it, it's not a wall.
No, yeah, there's space between that. This is the footprint of the edges.
For proximity, that's it. With you. Walking distance.
It's more than 500 feet, I can assure you.
No. I'm saying-
No, yeah.
You can walk.
Yeah, it's a hike.
That's how you work it off. All right, anybody have any questions, comments? No. Anybody in the public? No, all right, I'll close the public hearing portion. All right, I'll entertain a motion. Speaker. Yes, perfect. So the building inspector's office. Building permit.
Motion that the board chair approve the shore environmental assessment form and check that no or small impact may occur on boxes 1 to 11 inside. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve bill number 2327. As is.
Should we do it off?
Class B variance, area variance request to install 6-foot high privacy fencing in front yard setback.
Second.
Last next meeting, and then that.
You got 5 yes votes, you're good to go.
Thanks, guys.
Permit, and on your way. We have the 7 minutes. See, with a revised step that we're building.
Sorry, what? Oh, on the minutes?
Yeah, there were 2 sets. We're actually just approving, we're just approving the one set that mentions modification of the other. Correct. So we're just approving, it's an attachment to the minutes, but
And I can't vote on either because I wasn't there, right?
so you weren't here, no. So there's me, DJ, and Christine.
I make a motion to approve June minutes as is.
Second,
Second.
second by PJ. All in favor of the 4 of us?
Aye.
Approved.
Who makes a motion? to
What?
No.
No, I didn't.
Maybe just modified
Oh,
by.
yeah.
That's powerful.
I can make a motion to adjourn.
Yes, please.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Do we have to address the planning board comments?
Yes, we should, I'm sorry. Before we adjourn.
Thanks, Norm.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yes. I think everyone got a copy of. It's there.
I was not. I think Justin, no, Justin,
Last month?
no,
So-
the.
The what?
Last one.
That was a-
I wasn't here
Oh,
last
no,
month.
that was last month.
June.
Yeah.
That is last month. I wasn't.
Okay,
here.
so June minutes. So again, the 4 of us, Christine, PJ, Elizabeth, and myself. The county came back and said it's a local issue. They had comments on it. I think we had discussed in the meeting about the power usage within the city.
We did, yeah.
And although they say versus the number of jobs being created long-term, how much of that is our purview is not all that much. Really, that's more a planning board type of issue. Ensure the new city ordinance to hold the single user responsible for utilities, rate increases, and MLB address that up front. Go against what they say. Supposedly. County Office of Emergency Services handles that.
I like the department, emergency circle. We don't, no, we only do, actually, never anything.
Well, considering the large amount of oil proposed for on-site storage. Although he said it wasn't that much oil. Right. Didn't he say it's like
Yeah,
150 gallons or something?
didn't use
And
much.
I believe he also said that there is a
There's
secondary
containment,
containment in
yes.
place already.
Yeah, there would have to be.
Yeah.
Secondary containment register, obtain the proper testing permits. And that's on you, right? Permits for the cooling towers.
Yes.
So,
We have to approve those or just?
what do we have to do?
You're the chair, I don't.
Just no of them?
Acknowledged on the record.
Maybe that's what we do is just do a motion acknowledging it and say, make a motion that it wouldn't affect our decision.
I make a motion that acknowledging the Clinton County Planning Board referral response to referral number 68-22, and that it would not affect our decision.
Second,
Second.
and we'll do a hand vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That's for current ones. Guess we should do this. Well, we should use those comments on 85. Planning board said we should have ensured the line of sight on North Catherine and Boyd. But it's already, the line of sight's already finished. Change that. Okay. Oh.
I'll second it.
Give it a.
Don't steal my thumbs.
All in
Is that
favor?
for her? Aye.
Aye.